Let me ask you this. If somebody came up to you and told you that you would be a multi-millionaire, but all you had to do was marry 7 people that you didn't even like, would you marry them? The rest of your life, you cannot be married to the love of your life. You have to be married to somebody you don't like. That's exactly what Evelyn Hugo did in this book. It's about this girl who grew up in a really poor neighborhood, tells her story of rising to fame and becoming a Hollywood star and winning an Oscar, leveraging that in order to get what she wants. Despite the book being about Evelyn, nobody talked about the actual husbands themselves. So today, I'm ranking how good these husbands were. Not just by how good they were to Evelyn, but how iconic they were and how iconic they were to the story and how they kept the story going. Also, one of them couldn't make it on the tier list. There can only be 6. Are we even surprised? In dead last, we have Ernie Diaz. He is the first husband of Evelyn Hugo and married her when she wasn't even famous yet. Like, she hadn't even done any films yet. And Ernie just thought that she would be like a stay-at-home wife, or I guess this is the most normal marriage that she's had. Low-key did nothing for the plot. I just finished the book yesterday and I low-key forgot he was even there. So I will say he did get her career going. He was partially the reason why I kept reading. We gotta say thank you to Ernie. Thank you, Ernie. Second last, we have Max Gerard. Is that also a surprise to anybody? I don't think so. Max was one of the last husbands when she was already famous, when she already achieved that fame. But Max was like, oh, I love you. Like he was French, you know. I will shower you with love you. There's nothing much to say because this was already at the end of the career and I was like 100 pages left in the book. I just wanted to get the book over with. He was slightly manipulative. She was his muse. He didn't like her. He liked the idea of her. The relationship always felt fake. Look at Evelyn Hugo. Evelyn Hugo's with me. Everybody look at me. But that's why you're kind of iconic. You're like a tiny bit iconic. The people who didn't quite make the cut for the top 3. Last up, Rex North. Again, there's nothing much to say about Rex. He left her alone and they already knew the terms of the marriage and she just wanted to marry Rex out of making sure that the press doesn't care about her relationship with Celia, where it wasn't acceptable to be with a girl. And Rex knew about that and Rex was okay with that. So that was kind of iconic. Once she divorced him, we never heard from him again. Third, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, okay? Harry. That's right. He was there for a majority of the book. I genuinely thought that they never needed to get married. Harry is gay. Very openly gay to Evelyn. Evelyn wanted to get back with Cecilia. They weren't talking anymore. Harry, being Evelyn Hugo's manager, was dating Celia's fake boyfriend because Celia's boyfriend was also gay. Evelyn was like, I have an idea. How about we get married? We both want to have kids. It's way easier to keep this under wraps and keep this out of the press. My issue with this is I low-key didn't find it necessary. It was very much out of the blue. In the chapters leading up to the marriage, they were completely like friends, full stop. But then when they decided to get married, it's like all of a sudden the dynamic of their relationship changed and like I didn't see Harry as gay anymore. The fact that he married her, it's like, and they had a child together. It's like, are you gay? I don't know. Like, the writing made it seem like he wasn't gay anymore. I hope somebody can agree with me on this. But it was just kind of confusing. But the fact that it was confusing made the story good. Like, when there's a bunch of twists, obviously, I'm more inclined to read the book more. Second, but didn't quite make it to the finale, we have Mick Riva. Mick only was married to Evelyn for a day. Why? Evelyn was dating Cecilia at the time. Press wouldn't be so suspicious of her. Why did I place him second? Because it was super iconic watching him fall for every single ploy that Evelyn did. Like, the fact that Evelyn was so confident that she could bag him and then so confident that she could divorce him in one night, that is some iconic stuff. That made the book so much more interesting. But then after this happened and then the whole blow-up fight happened, none of the whole blow-up fight or like the second breakup would have happened without Mick. Mick was just dumb. I kind of like that. We like to take advantage of men. It was really satisfying to read that. It was also really funny. Last up, I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off. Last, Dawn. Dawn was Evelyn's second marriage. At first, this was the first man she was truly in love with, right? But then, once she started getting more popular and Dawn was not getting as popular, Dawn starts to get jealous and starts to become physically abusive towards her. Nobody come for me, okay? hear me out. I'm not saying domestic violence is okay. I would never say that domestic violence is okay. It's not, obviously. But let me ask you this question. It ends with us, with Colleen Hoover. Would you read the book if Lily Bloom, the only thing she did the entire book was she opened up her flower shop and met Atlas after a few years? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't, because there's no tension, there's no conflict happening, right? Dawn was the second marriage, and it was the reason why I kept reading the book. If Dawn wasn't in the book, if Mick wasn't in the book, would you continue reading? Probably, maybe, right? But if Dawn wasn't in the book, he was in the very beginning. If he wasn't in the book, you wouldn't continue reading. I guarantee that. I'm willing to put my foot down. Down. And like his whole jealousy and his cattiness and the fact that he kept on reappearing and it's like, oh, this guy's a reoccurring conflict. Yes, it made me want to read more. Yes, it made me want to see how Evelyn reacted to it. There is no story without the bad guy. Dawn was a perfect example of that. It was the first person that she truly loved. It was complicated and I like drama and that's what made it interesting. I don't like domestic violence. I just liked how it shaped Evelyn as a person and it made the plot continue. Evelyn wouldn't be where she was, and also I wouldn't even be continuing reading the book if it wasn't for Dawn. The line where Evelyn was like, I love Dawn, whatever, and then one sentence, and that's when he started hitting me. My jaw, when I read that, I'm like, oh, because I didn't expect it. The way that Evelyn was describing the entire relationship, they were madly in love, they were going to these places together, like Dawn was really in love with her. Nobody could have expected that. What do you call that? Infamous. He's infamous. The person who couldn't even make it on this totem pole. Robert. You were near the end of the book. It was already starting to get to the epilogue. Like, let's get over it, okay? That's my tier list. If you disagree, you should put it in the comments. Please don't flame me. Thank you.